That should be the beginning. See, now why is this scheduled? That's what makes me mad. It says scheduled for... Oh no, I can hear myself. That's the worst thing that could ever happen. Well, I'm back on Batman. Oh, I didn't even have to continue the actual game to do this. But if you haven't noticed, I've been a little bit on a hiatus. It wasn't because I died of COVID. I know I had lots and lots of COVID streams.
Arkham Asylum remains under lockdown. Its staff at the mercy
Excuse
of
me, sir.
inmates.
I believe I am speaking.
Ago, we received this
Let's get her.
We'll do a couple of Joker fights, but even though I've been sucking hardcore at fighting the Joker at the moment. Yeah, a little bit of a hiatus for a while. I just started a new job and I received 4 copyrights on some of my videos, citing music in the actual game, which I think is stupid. But, you know, it is what it is. As you can see, I'm about to fight the Joker. I've just about finished 80% of the Riddler challenges. And I said that I was going to come back and do an ASMR reading of all of the characters, which will happen at some point once my ASMR crowd gets a little bit bigger. But, yeah, I figured I would go through and do some character readings, give this little stream some life after not going on for so long. I was kind of bummed out after the copyright strikes. I am not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty dumb that a game that I was giving so much credit to, and oddly enough, one of my most viewed videos. Yeah, but we changed some things up in there. Changed the description of a couple of videos. They also docked me on a song that I myself was singing, and it wasn't even the song that they cited me for. It was a remix I had done, where I was singing about killing zombies. I don't even remember which song, but I guess the tune was good enough for me to get cited for that, so let's get into the ASMR reading, why don't we? We're gonna start with Batman and his story. When his parents were gunned down in front of him, young Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham City of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve, if only I could read, to achieve mental and physical perfection, in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. Dressing as Bat to prey on criminals' fears, Batman fights crime with the aid of specialized gadgets and vehicles operating out of his secret Batcave below Wayne Manor. His real name is Bruce Wayne, occupation CEO/philanthropist, and his base of operations is in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color black, height 6'2", weight 210 pounds, beefy fella. And his first appearance would be in the Detective Comics series number 27 in May of 1939. We have any comic book collectors out there? Attributes. He is trained to the physical and mental peak, an arsenal of gadgets, vehicles, and advanced technology. Inventor, detective, genius-level intelligence. Expert in most known forms of martial arts. Trained in all aspects of criminology. Master mastery of the physical sciences, computer expert, master of disguise, photographic memory, trained in stealth and espionage techniques, and an expert escape artist. Does it get any better than Batman? Let's go down to Bruce Wayne. Born into the wealthy Wayne family, Bruce Wayne had an idyllic childhood. Although he was given a strong sense of justice by his moralistic and philanthropic parents, Thomas and Martha, that wasn't a continuance, that was the end of the sentence. I'll get better as I go. After their violent murder at the hands of a mugger, Bruce dedicated his life to battling the criminal element that took their lives. He left Gotham for many years to train his mental and physical abilities across the globe, finally returning to take up the mantle of the Dark Knight. His real name, obviously the same as all the Batmans, is Bruce Wayne. He is a CEO and philanthropist based out of Gotham City with blue eyes and black hair. He's 6'2", weighs 210 pounds, and also first appeared in the Detective Comics series number 27 in May of 1939. These are all the same. He is trained to physical and mental peak. He has an arsenal of gadgets, vehicles, and advanced technologies. He is an inventor, a detective with genius level intelligence, an expert in most yes. Let's try that again. He is an expert in most known forms of martial arts. I wish I could speak and read. That would be so much better with all of this. Like I said, I'll get better as I go. If it wasn't for my speech impediment, I would rule the world. He is trained in all aspects of criminology, mastery of the physical sciences, a computer expert, a master of disguise, a photographic memory, trained in stealth and espionage techniques, and an expert escape artist. Now we move on to Thomas and Martha Wayne. Thomas Wayne was a gifted surgeon and heir to the Wayne fortune. Dedicated to philanthropy as much as medicine, he and his wife Martha were well known and respected in Gotham. Martha Wayne shared her husband Thomas's charitable nature and was dedicated to her son Bruce's upbringing. She was well regarded in Gotham City social circles and helped host lavish charity balls at Wayne Manor. Their tragic murder at the hands of a desperate burglar, Joe Chill, in Gotham's crime alley shook the city to its core and led to years of urban blight. It also inspired their son Bruce to eventually become the Batman. Their names, Thomas and Martha Wayne. Occupation, doctor, philanthropist. Base of operations, Gotham City. Eyes blue, hair brown. I guess that's for both of them. Same thing with their hair, black and brown. Height, 6'1" and 5'8". Or no. His eyes are blue, her eyes are brown, I guess. His hair is black, her hair is brown. I got it now. We're putting it all together. Thomas Wayne stood at 6'1" inches, while Martha stood at 5'8" inches. A giant amongst women. Thomas Wayne weighed 180 pounds and Martha weighing 135 pounds. Their first appearance would be in Detective Comics number 33 in November of 1939. Attributes: being highly gifted and a well-trained surgeon. Heir to the Wayne family fortune. That's an attribute, okay. A dedicated philanthropist. And the mother to Bruce Wayne and wife to Thomas Wayne. Is that really the only thing that they put for Martha? An insanely homicidal supervillain. The Joker's white skin, green hair, and blood-red lips belie the chaotic nature underlying his cartoonish appearance. The self-styled clown prince of crime has no superpowers beyond a capacity for incredible violence and a skill at creating deadly mayhem. He frequently concocts elaborate schemes to entrap his arch-nemesis, Batman. His real name is unknown. I think he's Jack Tripper. His occupation being a professional criminal, based out of Gotham City with green eyes and green hair, standing at 6 foot even, weighing 160 pounds, and first appearing in Batman #1 in the spring of 1940. It only took Batman 1 year to come out with his own comics. That's pretty cool. Attributes being unrepentant homicidal maniac, albeit without a precise psychological diagnosis. He is surprisingly strong at hand-to-hand combat. His past is unknown. Conflicting, unconfirmed report states that he was a failed comedian, a petty thief, and a broken family man. He employs various deadly weapons, often based on party gag items, frequently uses toxins that stretches the victim's face into a Joker-like grin and causes death. Every time I think about that, I think of him dancing with the shopping cart in Batman 1 where he's like, new improved Joker products with a new secret ingredient, Smilex. I didn't mean to growl when I did that. Should I do the interview tapes? They're pretty long. I'll do a separate video of those. And now on to the Oracle. The daughter of Gotham City's police commissioner, James W. Gordon, Barbara Gordon was forbidden by her overprotective father from joining the GCPD. Instead, she took on the identity of Batgirl and was a crime-fighting partner of Batman for years. But that all ended when the Joker shot her through the spine. Now paralyzed from the waist down and confined to a wheelchair, Barbara adopted the new identity of Oracle, and now aids the Dark Knight with her computer expertise, providing Batman with a constant stream of information in the field to aid his battle against crime. I wonder if that's canon. Real name, Barbara Gordon. Occupation, an information broker. Base of operations, Gotham City. Eyes blue, hair red. Height, 5'11", weight, 126 pounds. First appearance in Detective Comics number 359 in January of 1967. So that sounds pretty canon to me. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to say this word. Edetic? Eidetic? Eidetic. I want to say she almost totally recalls everything she sees and reads. How about that? Extensive headquarters in Gotham City's clock tower filled with information archives and a high-level hacking and computer skills. That was an incorrect sentence, but we're just going to go with it. I was going to read her story all over again. That one is not yet unlocked because I still have 20% of the Joker riddles. I still have 20% of these Riddler riddles to go through. So we're going to move on to Warden Sharp. Warden Quincy Sharp has been running Arkham Asylum for the past 3 years and has dedicated his life to restoring the sanity of the so-called supervillains that plague Gotham City. He is currently campaigning to become the next mayor of Gotham. To facilitate his campaign, he has instigated stringent new security and experimental research policies at Arkham. His real name is Quincy Sharp. He is the warden at Arkham Asylum, and he is based in Gotham City. Eyes blue, hair gray, height 5'8", weight 190 pounds. First appearance in Batman Arkham Asylum, summer of 2009. Portly little man, isn't he? Attributes being that he has an intense dedication to cleaning up Arkham. a pompous and old-fashioned in demeanor, with a focus on his own political aspirations, contempt for Arkham inmates, and disinterest in the specifics of their treatment masks a cowardly nature. That sucks for you. Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon was my favorite part of Gotham. If you have not watched Gotham, I feel like you should. And if you're like I was and didn't want to watch it because it was about Commissioner Gordon, you're definitely selling yourself short, just like I did. The police commissioner, James W. Gordon, dedicated his career to cleaning up the corruption in Gotham City's police department. A goal he has come a long way towards accomplishing. He has been equally tough on crime and in the pursuit of making Gotham City safe for all of his citizens. Gordon has forged an uneasy alliance with Gotham's other top crime fighter, the mysterious vigilante known as Batman. Real name, James W. Gordon. Occupation, police commissioner. Based in Gotham City, with blue eyes and white hair being formerly brown. Standing at 6 foot even, weighing 180 pounds, appearing at first in the Detective Comics series number 27 in May of 1939. Attributes: he is an experienced police officer, a trained criminologist, proficient in hand-to-hand fighting techniques, and an expert marksman. It doesn't say anything about him being a soldier, which I feel like was a big, well, I guess I'm talking about Gotham in general, but y'all need to watch Gotham. It's really, really good. It goes a lot into Gordon's backstory and his own motivations for protecting Gotham. Aaron Cash, one of the most senior and respected guards at Arkham. Cash is only afraid of one inmate, the killer Croc, who severely wounded Cash once during a riot at the Asylum. Cash remains determined, however, to keep the Asylum's inmates under control and to conquer his fears of Croc. His name is Aaron Cash. He is an Arkham Asylum guard based through Gotham City. His eyes are brown and hair black, standing at 6 foot and weighing 185 pounds. His first appearance being in Arkham Asylum, A Living Hell number 1 in July of 2003. I'm going to have to check that out. He has great physical strength and excellent reflexes, one of the most experienced guards at Arkham, and lasting enmity with the killer Croc. I don't know how that's an attribute, but we're just going to go with it. My favorite, Victor Zazz. A true sociopath, Zazz grew up in a life of ease, but nonetheless became a serial killer. Indiscriminate in his prey, body count is the only thing that matters to Zazz. He takes pleasure in arranging the corpses of his victims in lifelike poses before carving a mark for each of his victims into his own body, for which he is saving a special spot for the Batman. His name is Victor Zazz. Occupation, professional criminal. Based out of Gotham City, with blue eyes, blonde hair, standing at 5'8", weighing 150 pounds. First appearance being in Batman, The Shadow of the Bat number 1 in June of 1992. He is a sociopath with no regard for human life, no pattern of killing making him difficult to track, and he has a compulsive need to kill others. Now that all makes me sound like insane when I say he's my favorite, but again, we're going to go back to the show Gotham and tell you that when it comes to the people who are all around Batman in the series, Bruce Wayne, before he becomes Batman. All the people who surround him, we get much backstory and motivation. You got Victor Zazz, you got Maroni, you got Falcone, you got I mean, there's Fish Mooney, who isn't canon, but is also a very good criminal. And I love Jada Pickett, even though all that stuff that went down. Um, this was before all that, so we're good. Victor Zaz, though, he's a great criminal. The guy who plays him, I don't know his name, and I apologize to him for it. But if you ever are bored going through past streams that have to do with Batman or whatever, and you see this, just know that I may not know your name, but I'm a fan. Good coffee this afternoon. And let's move on to Dr. Penelope Young. Penny Young. Yeah, it says Penelope. Okay, I knew I wasn't tripping. Penny Young was always a brilliant student who was prepared to do anything to advance professionally. She has built up a reputation for being a cold, calculating woman focused only on the project at hand. Same. She was hired at Arkham Asylum by Warden Quincy Sharp to head up the asylum's research department and to finally restore the sanity to the more deranged of Gotham City's supervillains. Her name is Penelope Young, aka Penny, apparently. Occupation, the head of research, based out of Arkham Asylum, with blue eyes and brown hair, or brunette. It looks a little red in the caricature. She stands at 5'6", weighing 121 pounds. Ooh, skinny queen. And her first appearance would be in this game, Batman Arkham Asylum, in the summer of 2009. This game is very old. She graduated from Gotham University with top honors, dedicated to the pursuit of a psychiatric cure for the various forms of criminal insanity. She is highly focused on career ambitions and intolerant of people who get in the way of her work. Same. Frank Bowles. Frank has been working at Arkham for 8 years. He has twice been suspended for drinking on the job and regularly holds poker evenings in the guard rooms. Frank is desperate to be the top dog at Arkham. He fails to recognize that he is considered untrustworthy and generally disliked. You know what, Frank Boyle? Same. Which is his real name, and his occupation is a guard at the Arkham Asylum, based in Gotham City, with brown eyes, black hair, standing at 6 foot, weighing 185 pounds. First appearance being in this game, Arkham Asylum, summer of 2009. He is arrogant. He has an arrogant belief that he is the best guard in Arkham Asylum, and he uses sarcasm to cover up insecurities and failures. Why do I feel so attacked right now? His violent temper has resulted in many injuries to patients. Why is this game attacking me right now? We're going to move on to Killer Croc, the bane of this guy, Aaron Cash. Born with a rare mutation that made his skin green and scaly and grew his body to grotesque proportions, Waylon Jones was raised by an alcoholic aunt and bullied relentlessly for his appearance. He briefly worked as a carnival freak under the name Killer Croc, but his misanthropy grew, as did his bestial nature, pushing him to a life of crime. As his physical condition and mental state deteriorate, Killer Croc becomes a more bestial foe, increasingly detached from humanity. His real name is Waylon Jones. His occupations, alligator wrestler, gangster, murderer. Base of operations, anywhere and everywhere. Eyes yellow, no hair, standing at 11 feet tall and 580 pounds. Big boy. appearing first in Batman number 357 in January of 1984. Killer Croc has incredibly thick, tough skin and razor-sharp teeth and claws. He is an expert wrestler. I didn't know there were experts in wrestling. And his strength and stamina are at a near superhuman level. His heightened senses and he has heightened senses. I thought they were going to explain something. And he has extremely fast reflexes. He's able to survive in water for extended periods of time. And he has an intense hatred for humanity. I think I may have gotten everybody's full interviews. I should have done the patient interviews. The Riddler. With an obsessive compulsive need for attention. Why is this game continually attacking me through these explanations of characters? Anyways, with an obsessive oops. Let's try that again. With an obsessive compulsive need for attention, Edward Nygma is determined to be the most outlandish of Gotham City's criminals, concocting an elaborate series of clues and riddles around his crimes. Batman has proven a worthy opponent, capable of deducing the Riddler's plans, but Nygma is dedicated to creating a mystery the Dark Knight will not be able to solve in time. His real name, Eddie Nashton, aka Edward Nygma. Occupation, professional criminal, based out of Arkham City, with blue eyes, brown hair, standing at 6'1", 183 pounds, another skinny queen amongst our Gothamites. First appearance in Detective Comics number 140 in October of 1948. He is a genius intellect, driven by a need to test his wits against law enforcement by leaving clues to his planned crimes, and he has a compulsive need for attention. Same, Nygma. Same. Oh, see, I just said I think I had all the patient interviews and I lied to you guys. My apologies. Tatiana Ali, aka Poison Ivy. Botanist Pamela Isley was transformed by a science experiment gone wrong into a plant-human hybrid. With chlorophyll flowing through her veins instead of blood, she developed a toxic touch and a pheromone-fueled talent for seduction. Shit. Her crimes have become more ecologically focused as she has increasingly abandoned her human side, identifying more with the natural world. Her unique brand of eco-terrorism often puts her into conflict with Batman, whose iron will usually protects him from her seductive powers. Her real name, Pamela Lillian Isley, aka Tatiana, aka Poison Ivy. Her occupation is a professional criminal based out of Gotham City with green eyes, red hair, standing 5'8" and 115 pounds. Nothing but skinny queens in the Bat universe. Her first appearance being in Batman number 181 in June of 1966. She has an ability to encourage and direct the growth of all plant life. Plant genes mixed in with her DNA make her an unpredictable and formidable physical opponent. She exudes natural pheromones that enable her to exert control over victims, and her skin secretes a toxin that can make her touch deadly. She has a pathological drive to rid the world of humanity and make it safe for all plant life. She's also batshit crazy. Mr. Freeze. Victor Fries was a brilliant cryogenicist. Yes. Whose beloved wife Nora was stricken with a fatal degenerative disease. He placed her in suspended animation while obsessively searching for a way to cure her. But with the corporation that funded his research, but the corporation that funded his research and Nora's life pulled the plug, triggering an accident that transformed Frice's body into a cold-blooded form that must always be kept below zero. At normal room temperature, he will die. Wielding a number of freezing weapons, he wears protective armor in his quest to somehow bring back his lovely wife and avenge her fate, which he partly holds the Batman responsible for. What? Based on the, okay, so we've done a number of pauses in this stream. Um, okay, let's go back. But the corporation that funded his research and Nora's life pulled the plug, triggering an accident that transformed Frice's body into a cold-blooded form that must always be kept below zero. At normal room temperatures, he will die. How does that go into him blaming Batman for, I don't know. His real name is Victor Fries. His occupation, a professional criminal, based out of Gotham City with blue eyes, no hair, standing at 6 foot and 190 pounds. Got a little bit of muscle on that boy. His first appearance being in Batman number 121 in February of 1959. He is a scientific genius with a specialty in cryogenics. He employs an extensive array of cryoweaponry. His body has been permanently altered to survive its sub-freezing state. He wears protective freezing armor whenever he's out in above-zero climates. He is motivated by his grief and anger over the fate of his wife Nora. I wonder why we didn't get any tapes on Fries. Moving over to the Scarecrow, my favorite part of this game. My favorite part and my most hated part. Taunted and bullied as a youth, Jonathan Crane vowed to overcome his fears through the study of psychology and biochemistry. Kicked out of his university for experimenting on human subjects, Crane then adopted the identity of the Scarecrow and armed himself with a specialized fear-inducing gas that makes a person's deepest phobias become frighteningly real. His ongoing criminal reign of terror makes him one of Batman's most psychologically dangerous foes. His real name is Jonathan Crane. His occupation, professional criminal based out of Gotham. Blue eyes, brown hair, standing at 6 foot and 140 pounds. He's very skinny. His first appearance being in World's Finest Comics number 3 in fall of 1941. He is a master of psychology and chemistry, a creator of the fear-inducing gas, and he's motivated by an obsessive need to create fear in others. I'm missing quite a few interview tapes now that I look at this. I'm glad I checked it out. Scarface. Gotham's Blackgate Penitentiary once had a gallows tree from which 313 criminals with death sentences were hanged. The wood from that tree was whittled by an inmate into the puppet Scarface, and that inmate was murdered by Arnold Wesker, a man who soon fell under Scarface's influence. While most believe that Scarface is simply a tool through which Wesker and the criminal mastermind, the Ventriloquist. It took me a second. Yes, don't roast me. As the criminal mastermind, the Ventriloquist acts out a dark side to his personality. Wesker himself believes that Scarface is possessed by the souls who died beneath the gallows tree, and the puppet actually motivates him to commit the duo's many crimes. His real name is Scarface. He is a professional criminal based out of Gotham City with black hair and black eyes, standing at 2 foot 6 inches and 15 pounds. It's a heavy dummy. And his first appearance being in the Detective Comics series number 583 in February of 1988. That's a good year. He is a puppet animated with eerie verisimilitude verisimilitude by the Ventriloquist, frequently wields undersized but lethal weaponry, and when teamed with the Ventriloquist, acts as an old-style mob boss with a sociopathic disregard for human life. Jack Ryder. Me too. Jack Ryder is an investigative reporter turned controversial talk show host, well known for his aggressive manner and his determination to get to the truth. What his viewers don't realize is that he is also the Creeper, a gnarlishly colored vigilante who Ryder can, with effort, turn into at will, although at that point the Creeper's maniac personality takes over. The Creeper is usually on the side of good and just barely on the side of insanity. His real name is Jack Ryder. He's an investigative reporter slash crazy lunatic. He's based in Gotham City with blue eyes and black hair, standing at 6 foot and 194 pounds. First appearing in Showcase number 73 in the March of 1968. He is a determined reporter, known for his aggressive pursuit of stories, famous for his controversial talk show, and his secret identity as his alter ego, the Creeper. Secret identity as his alter ego, the Creeper. That doesn't sound like a sentence to me. And we move on to Two-Face. District Attorney Harvey Dent was one of Batman's strongest allies in Gotham City, until a criminal threw acid in Dent's face, hideously scarring him. The wounds fractured his psyche, and he was reborn as a schizoid criminal mastermind, obsessed with duality. His former good luck charm, a two-headed trick silver dollar, was damaged on one side in the attack, and Dent has seized on it as a reflection of his half-scarred visage. He flips it to decide the fates of his victims. Despite Batman's efforts to reform his former ally, Dent is consumed by his fixation on chance, and his crimes are designed to prove out his diametric philosophy. Diametric, yeah? I squeezed all them words out, didn't I? His real name is Harvey Dent. His occupation is a professional criminal based out of Gotham City with blue eyes, brown and gray hair, standing at 6 foot tall, 182 pounds. First appearance in the Detective Comics number 66 in August of 1942. They need to put some of these Batman characters in Apex, so I got more skinny characters to use with small hitboxes. Whoops. He is hideously scarred on the left half of his face, which he plays up with clothing that's differently styled on one side. Extremely skilled with his weapons of choice, his twin .45 automatics. Psychotic obsession with duality, designing crimes around the number 2. Defers to his half-scarred coin in choices of life or death. Hush. Tommy Elliot and Bruce Wayne were childhood friends. Unknown to Bruce, dark reflections of each other. A childhood sociopath, Elliot tried to kill his parents so he could inherit their fortune. When his plan failed, partly due to the surgical skills of Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father, Elliot blamed Bruce. Of course. An incredibly skilled surgeon as an adult, Elliot planned an elaborate revenge scheme on the Batman. He disguised himself as the villain Hush, his face covered in bandages, but he was in the end defeated and unmasked by the Dark Knight. Hush still plots revenge against Batman, generating complicated schemes with surgical precision. His real name is Thomas, or Tommy, Elliot, He is a surgeon based out of Gotham City with brown eyes and reddish brown hair, standing at 6'3" and weighing 225 pounds. His first appearance being Batman number 609 in January of 2003. He has great physical strength, augmented by a hatred of Bruce Wayne. I'm not sure how that correlates. He is a world-class surgeon, capable of extraordinary medical breakthroughs. He is a master of disguise and determined to destroy Bruce Wayne. It's just so I can see where I'm at. The Mad Hatter. Obsessed from a young age with Lewis Carroll's book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Jervis Tetch, an expert hypnotist, embraced a delusion that he was the incarnation of a character in the story, the Mad Hatter. Using his skills for mesmerism, the Mad Hatter has committed many crimes, often themed around the book that inspired him and his love of hats and headgear, going as far as to implant his hats with mind control chips to amplify his hypnosis skills. Above all other headwear, however, he covets Batman's distinctive cowl and will stop at nothing to acquire it. His real name is Jervis Tetch. Occupation, professional criminal based out of Gotham City, with blue eyes, red hair, standing at 4'11". What's up, Jervis? And weighing 115 pounds. His first appearance being in Batman number 49 in November of 1948. He is a master of hypnotism and mind control, obsessed with hats, especially one-of-a-kind items. Delusional schizophrenic with a fixation on Alice in Wonderland. There's a couple Alice in Wonderland weirdos here. Clayface. I like what they did with Clayface in the game with them. When you approach his cell in the game, he turns into the mayor, he turns into Commissioner Gordon, people that you know, and like it freaks you out a little bit, you know, because he's just sitting there like, okay, you idiot, let me out of this cell, you locked up the wrong guy. And it's like, am I supposed to let you out? I just talked to Mayor Quincy. Anyways, initially an actor in horror films, Carlo went mad when he learned a classic film of his was to be remade with a different actor in lead role. He took on the mask of the film's villain, Clayface, and he killed several of the remake's cast and crew before being stopped by Batman and Robin. Later, Carlo joined the Mud Pack, an alliance of shape-changing, mutated villains who had subsequently used the name Clayface. While that group was defeated, Carlo tricked his allies and injected himself with the essences of several of them, becoming a superhuman imbid. Yes, don't question it. With the abilities to change shape, melt others into protoplasm with a touch, and mimic the powers of heroes or villains he copies. His real name is Basil Carlo. He is a professional criminal based out of Gotham City with red eyes and no hair. He stands at 6'5", weighing 125 pounds, first appearing in the Detective Comics series number 40 in June of 1940. He can alter his physical form, adopting the appearance of nearly anyone. His malleable physical form makes him extremely difficult to injure or contain, and his touch can be poisonous. Same. The Ventriloquist. Arnold Wesker was a timid orphan whose deep repression erupted into a barroom brawl. Barroom? Yes, I said it. Resulting in him being sent to Blackgate Prison. There, he encountered the Oh my god. Can I please read? I apologize. Where was my place? There, he encountered the puppet Scarface and promptly murdered the man who'd carved the puppet. The two are now inseparable, with Scarface directing a series of criminal activities, while most believe that Wesker is simply acting out a second personality through the puppet. Wesker sees himself as a reluctant lackey who merely does his puppet's bidding. His real name is Arnold Wesker. His profession? Professional criminal based out of Gotham City, with blue eyes, brown hair, standing at 5'7" and 142 pounds. Appearing first in the Detective Comics series number 583 in February of 1988. He is a delusional schizophrenic with multiple personality disorder, obsessed with his puppet Scarface, whom he puppeteers with unsettling skill. When he teamed with Scarface, the two operate as a criminal mastermind when teamed with Scarface. We're just going to pretend that's what I said. Humpty Dumpty, an obese, bald man nicknamed Humpty Dumpty for his egg-like form. Let's try that again. That's messed up. Why would they write that in there? An obese, bald man nicknamed Humpty Dumpty for his egg-like form. Humphrey Dumpler. No, I gotta get through this. Okay, I'm gonna get. Ooh, I hit my mic. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. Serious is me. Okay. An obese, bald man. This is too good. I want the people who wrote these these stories behind people to write my story on YouTube. My my description. An obese bald man nicknamed Humpty Dumpty for his egg-like form. Humphrey Dumpler is obsessed with taking things apart and putting them back together. His crimes at first were minor break-ins, leading to small mechanical items no longer functioning due to Dumpler's inability to adequately reassemble them after taking them apart. But soon, his obsession grew to the point that major disasters occurred in Gotham, and Dumpler's crimes also extended to a gruesome attempt to fix his abusive grandmother by dismembering her and then attempting a Frankenstein-like reassembly. At Arkham, he is a model inmate, his quiet nature and imposing physique inuring him, rather, to the madness surrounding him. Don't ask me what that means. I don't know. His name, unfortunately, is Humphrey Dumpler. That's fun to say though. I have to tell you guys. It's Humphrey Dumpler. Try it. Try it just once. Humphrey Dumpler. His occupation is a professional criminal based out of Gotham City with brown eyes and no hair. He stands at 6'3" at a whopping 345 pounds, setting the standard for all the skinny queens in Gotham. And his first appearance being in Arkham Asylum, Living Hell #1 in July of 2003. He is extremely tall, heavy, and strong. He possesses an almost unnaturally quiet, deliberate nature. Ritualized childhood abuse has led to a severe case of arrested development, a very good show, and an inability to assimilate into modern society. and he is obsessed with the process of disassembly and reassembly. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. I like the way Tweedle, I don't know which one, but the one out front has his gun cocked to the side like a gangsta. Cousins with an uncanny resemblance to each other, Deaver and Dumfrey. Was that not old boy's last name? We're not gonna question it. Deaver and Dumfrey Tweed both shared criminal learnings and a fixation on Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Teaming up, they've modeled themselves after Tweedledum and Tweedledee from that book, planning often outrageous, absurdist schemes to trap the Batman. Their real names are Deaver and Dumfrey Tweed. Whose name is Deaver? Anyways, they are professional criminals based out of Gotham City, with brown eyes, brown hair, standing at 5'9" and weighing 175 pounds. Apparently, it's all the same for both of them, looking like twins and whatnot. Their first appearance being in the Detective Comics series number 74 in April of 1943. They are obsessed with Alice in Wonderland, as well as skilled criminal masterminds. Despite being cousins, they could pass as identical twins. Calendar Man. Fixated on the calendar, Julian Day became Calendar Man, a villain who timed and tied his crimes thematically to certain holidays throughout the year, often leaving clues by which he could be caught. Gotham City's hopes for a day off are often clouded by the knowledge that any holiday of note is likely to be shadowed by Calendar Man's presence. His real name is Julian Day. He's a professional criminal based out of Gotham City, with blue eyes, brown hair, standing at 6'3", 175 pounds. His first appearance being in Detective Comics number 259 in September of 1958. He is obsessed with quirks of the calendar, and he carefully plans and themes crimes around holidays. Amadeus Arkham, who, if I'm not mistaken, in this game is voiced by Christopher Lloyd. If he's not, I think that's a lie, because he sounds like Christopher Lloyd. If you don't know who Christopher Lloyd is, that is Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Amadeus Arkham founded the Elizabeth Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane, naming it after his mother, whom he euthanized as treatment for her dementia. That's a little harsh. Building it on the old grounds of his family's historic mansion on the outskirts of Gotham, Amadeus personally treated his first patient, Martin Mad Dog Hawkins, who had killed Amadeus's wife and daughter. After administering fatal electroshock treatments to Hawkins, Amadeus lost all grip on his sanity and was admitted in his own institution. His name is Amadeus Arkham. He is a psychiatrist based out of Gotham City, with blue eyes, brown hair, standing at 5'11" and 175 pounds. His first appearance being in Batman number 258 in October of 1974, which makes him a canon character, folks. He is highly respected and a psychiatrist until his fall into insanity. He is the heir to the Arkham land and fortune, and is a delusional schizophrenic. Sad. Oh, and the Spirit of Arkham. I don't have all of the messages, so I'm gonna hold off on that, But, okay, I'm gonna play the first one and tell me this is not Christopher Lloyd.
I am the spirit of Amadeus Arkham. Through my actions, I have saved this cursed city. Though my own curse is to forever remain in the shadows. My story is carved into the very soul of Arkham, and will only be revealed to those dedicated enough to discover it.
It might not be Christopher Lloyd, but it sounds like Christopher Lloyd to me. Alright, boys, that's my ASMR reading of all the Batman bios that I have so far. I'm officially only missing 7. So stay tuned. I will be streaming more. I know I was on hiatus for a while, like I said. The copyright strikes made me mad. But I will return. I'm gonna call it quits on this stream. I'll see you guys later. Let me know if you want more ASMR content or if I should just give up trying to read because of my lack of ability to and my speech impediment. I'm just playing. And that's gonna do it for us.